Hey YouTubers, welcome back to another episode here on ESGNet of NBA 2K15 MyGM with the Oklahoma City Thunder franchises, episode 11, and we're getting ready for the final game here of a game of 10 games that we have set aside here to start off the season here, the 2014 and 2015 season here in the NBA. There you see we're getting ready to play this November 14th matchup against the Detroit Pistons here, who are currently 2-6 for the season here, and we have an opportunity here to really stick it to them here and get another loss here. Now we've already lost, I believe, we lost Kevin Durant. There you see 8 to 6 weeks, and then you got Jeremy Lamb out for 2 to 4 months. There you see our record 8-1 here for the season. We're power rankings 4th here, and we're getting ready. We just won a good game here against Marcus Smart and the Celtics, and they lost that game 92 to 72. We win that one in a healthy fashion there. So now we're going to go to Detroit here and get ready for this matchup here against the Pistons here, who just a couple years ago, it wasn't that long ago, they were in the championship game. They had a championship team there and whatnot, and it kind of fell apart since then. So here we are getting ready for our matchup here as we get our point of emphasis, the things we want to get done here on offense and defense when it comes to playing against the Pistons. And hopefully it will be another great game for us here as we get ready for this matchup here. So Russell Westbrook and Serge Ibaka are going to be on the court here and going to lead their team on to a hopefully another win.
We're coming at you from the Peak Chesapeake Energy Arena in beautiful Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, as the Thunder prepare to take the floor. Detroit is working their way through a road trip going into today's game. They're still looking to settle into the new season, working on improving their record with each opportunity to try to pick up some wins.
Well, this wasn't a team that was talked about much coming into the season, and they haven't done anything yet to get them into the discussion either. They just haven't been able to touch on anything that's worked for them quite yet.
And they've still got a lot of time to turn things around, but they better not wait too much longer. A season can spiral downward on a team pretty quickly, and there could be a danger of that happening with them.
All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. On the floor for Detroit, Monroe and Drummond there inside. Caldwell Pope out there with Jennings. And it's Butler in at the 3 slot. That's good. And here's Westbrook.
Greg Monroe, 6'11", 250, the ability to play the 4 or the 5 spot, and his combination of size and skill makes him very coveted around the league.
To the left side wing. Kicks to Drummond. Outside Jennings. Outside Butler. Shot clock at 6. Left side Butler. And off target as he starts the game 0 for 1. And Monroe, very left-hand dominant, much better scoring from that side of the floor.
Yeah, and while being a lefty does throw defenders off, I think developing his right hand is something that will help him even get better as he moves forward.
Here is Jennings following the basket by Russell Westbrook. And the Thunder pushing it up now. Here's Morrow. And that one hits back iron. Oklahoma City on D. Their last game, a win against Boston, looking to carry it into this one.
You know, their percentage from long range that game was off the charts. It seemed like every time the home crowd got going, they just took the wind out of their sails with another three-point barrage.
Yeah, those bombs were really falling.
Stolen by Westbrook. To the inside. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Well, it's been said time and time again that this building is not only one of the loudest in the league, but it most approximates a college environment with the energy, and that's a huge help for the Thunder.
And it really is deafening talking about the volume of this OKC crowd when their team is rolling. Definitely has an impact on how they are able to win at home.
And he knocks down the first one. Well, the Thunder were able to dominate here last season. Clark 34 home wins, which tied them for most out west.
And that was one off the league best of 35 home wins by my favorite franchise in the NBA, the Indiana Pacers.
Yes.
No team has ever had an easy time coming in here and escaping with a win against this Thunder squad, though.
Now here's Jennings. He's coming off a 16-point game against the Wizards in Washington.
And he was just lurking defensively in that game, Kevin. 4 steals during that ballgame.
And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot.
Nice work to get inside and draw the foul.
Yeah, it's obvious. The defense not going to allow many easy layups. They're going to make you earn it from the line.
Well, you knew that Andre Drummond was oozing with potential, but that P word, potential, you know, can quite often be as much of a curse, Clark, as it is a boon, but he just blossomed last year.
Yeah, he really did. I mean, with the way he moves around the floor at his size, you had to know that if he started to put it all together, he would be a game-changing talent, and he showed flashes of that and made a big leap last season.
And you said with Drummond, you know, the movement and fluidity of him, he makes the extraordinary seem so easy at times. Very much a highlight reel machine at such a young age.
And finished off by Westbrook. It's not possible what we just said. Clark, is that possible?
Not probable, but it is possible, partner.
It's possible. Not probable, it is possible. I don't know what all that meant, but you're right, Clark.
Here's Jennings. Following the score by Oklahoma City. Butler. Perkins pulls it in.
You know, the highlight plays will always be there for a guy like Drummond. Size, speed, athleticism. But, you know, he was able to take on a lot more minutes last year and did not see an incredible efficiency drop-off, which is impressive. I think that could be just a sign of things to come for this young man.
And in this first quarter, about 3 minutes played. Jones, no luck. The Pistons trailing. Jennings drives in. Here's Caldwell Pope. He's covered by Westbrook. Butler kicks to Jennings. Fires from deep, and he gets it to go.
Poor job defensively, giving him such a clear look at that three-point shot.
Westbrook against Jennings. Westbrook passes to Morrow. And that comes off the assist by Russell Westbrook. Morrow's got his first basket.
I tell you what, fellas, he loves those mid-range jumpers. I mean, that's where he makes his money.
Jennings drives in. Out of bounds, Oklahoma City takes possession.
And guys, we look now at some numbers for Greg Monroe. Very nice season for him last year. He put up about 15 points a game last season, 9 rebounds and 2 assists. And just bringing in size like his off the bench can be a difference maker.
Well, you know, to be able to keep bringing in capable big men for a strong rotation, that can wear down other teams.
Now, here is Ibaka. In the game against Boston, very impressive.
Not too much congestion in the lane. I think he could have gotten a better shot that time, no question.
And Jones sends it back. Out of bounds, Oklahoma City takes possession.
Well, let's take a look at how Oklahoma City ranked in the league last year. Second in blocks, second in free throw percentage, and they were ranked third in opponent field goal percentage. This team really gets after it defensively. They made a commitment to that end of the floor.
And I think the thing that jumps out at me is the blocks per game. It just shows how well coached they were defensively. Great rotations. They closed out, and they forced their opponents into tough situations at the hoop. That's how they were able to block so many shots.
Out to Monroe. Back to Butler. The tray. And he gets the bucket. Butler's got his first 3 points of the game.
A good open look, and he splashes home the 3.
Thunder trailing by 3. Clark, they've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a little bit of cottonmouth here. Dry spell for sure.
Westbrook kicks to Morrow. And again, Oklahoma City, no good.
Poor shooting from him this quarter. His shooting percentage nowhere near where he'd like it to be.
Excellent ball movement there, guys.
Yeah, I think that's what's keyed this run, Clark, because they're keeping the ball moving. Defense hasn't been able to set up.
And first timer of the game called for Oklahoma City. Brandon Jennings acquired in a sign and trade by the Pistons last season on a 3-year, $24 million contract.
Jennings probably expecting more in terms of the deal. But look, maybe it was a wake-up call for him. You know, he has not been part of a winning team yet. And generally speaking, you know, stats alone don't get you max contracts. Stats and wins are what do that, and that's what's next for Jennings.
Well, while we have a second, let's go to the 2K leaderboard for a list of the league's top shooters from last season. Second, Andre Drummond.
You know, nobody said this guy couldn't miss last season, and because he was such a good percentage shooter, one of the best in the league, his teammates always were looking for him.
Thunder trailing by 5.
And for Jennings, a quick, explosive athlete at the point. But you talk about how can he improve. He has the physical attributes to become a lockdown defender, but his focus at that end comes and goes. He's got to be more consistent in his focus at that end.
And now a fast break for the Thunder. Morrow leading the charge. Sinks that one from the post. And so it's Detroit with the ball. Defeated by the Wizards in their last game, they'll try to put that one behind them.
Was not a very inspired performance for them, particularly defensively. I thought, you know, they gave the hostile crowd a lot to cheer about, frankly.
Yeah, they allowed a lot of free runs to the hoop, a lot of open jumpers, and in the end, the opponent's shooting percentage was right through the roof, and you can't win when that's the case.
Detroit with the ball, following the score by Oklahoma City. Clock at 6. Caldwell Pope kicks to Jennings. Here's Monroe. Here's Drummond. Lays it up and banks it in.
Did you see the defense get caught standing around that time, giving up an easy second chance bucket?
Simply need more of an effort on the boards there, Steve.
Now here's Jones. From down low. Shots good by Ibaka.
And the other aspect for Jennings, a streaky scorer to this point in his career. A little loose with his mechanics and shot selection. I think a part of it. I think improving his shooting percentages is an area where he needs to get better.
And that'll be Oklahoma City's ball as it goes out of bounds.
Boy, just a brain cramp, guys. I mean, that should have been the simplest of exchanges.
A different look for Oklahoma City. Nick Collison's checked in for Ibaka. Jackson comes in for Anthony Morrow. And it's Telfair in for Russell Westbrook. Thunder trailing by 3. Pass to Collison. It's tipped. It's stolen by Smith. Here's Meeks. It's stolen by Jones. Outside Jackson. The 3. Rebounded by the Pistons. They're getting their first look at the Thunder in this one.
These two teams are effectively strangers to each other. Only 2 meetings all season. This is their first one, and then they'll play one more down the road.
The Thunder shooting 36% in this first quarter, trying to get their bearings. Left side Jackson lets it go from deep, and the shot is good. Jackson's got himself going there, his first points of the game on the deep ball. The Pistons have gone 7 of 13, just over 50% from the floor. Some good looks.
Well, it's been a while since Motor City has seen the playoffs on the basketball court, and it just appears as though they've been stuck in neutral the last few seasons.
Jerebko kicks to Augustine. He was all alone on that one. Augustine's got his second bucket. Thunder trailing by 4. Now Telfair. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. And the basket by Jones. With Detroit, as you said, haven't made the playoffs since 2009. And Steve, over the last few years, just stuck near the bottom.
And they've been, you know, kind of a treadmill team. Good enough to not be dead last, but not bad enough to get a really high pick. And they tried to change it via free agency, so we'll see how it goes.
That's tipped with the second effort. He takes it up and lays it in. Jones has got 6. And a closer look here at the hustle stats for the Thunder.
Boy, their frenetic defense has really been impressive, putting a lot of pressure on ball handlers and turning them over.
They've gotten their fair share of points off turnovers so far tonight, too.
Now here is Augustine. He's coming off a 10-point game against Washington.
In terms of rebounding, it's been a sensational opening quarter.
I like sensational. That's a good word for it.
Here is Telfair. They lead by 1 from past the arc. And again, Oklahoma City with the triple.
Those are starting to add up. Of their last 5 baskets, 3 of them have been three-pointers.
And it's not just great offense, Clark. The defense is really lacking. Not enough energy on their closeouts.
And the Pistons decide to take their first timeout right here.
Nick Collison has played a decade in the NBA, all with the same franchise. 4 seasons in Seattle, the last 6 in OKC. And there's a reason they've kept him around. He's a savvy role player, very smart, does a lot of the little things to help you win.
As we take a look at the rankings, let's see where Detroit ended up last season. 3rd in rebounding, 8th in steals, and they were in the top half of the league in block shots. So not a very intimidating team, but nonetheless a solid defensive team.
And this is a team that really relied most heavily on the rebounding numbers that you talked about. I mean, at top 5, they're a team that likes to attack the lane at both ends of the floor, really control the glass on defense and try to pound you inside with the offensive boards.
And again, it's the Pistons missing.
And the Thunder really are consistently better at the defensive end with Collison on the floor. You know, he's not a big shot blocker or rebounder, but he's outstanding as a help defender. He's able to draw charges. He's always in the right spot at the right time, and he just knows what that defensive system requires from him, and he gets it done.
Now it appears an injury out on the floor, and that does not look like any fun.
Yeah, Clark, that did not look good. Let's keep our fingers crossed that it's nothing too serious.
Boy, you can't help but feel for him. I mean, one moment you're doing what you do best, and the next, the situation's really out of your hands. I really hope he's okay.
And the Thunder making a switch here. Morrow's checked in. 6-second difference between the shot and game clock. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. Morrow's got 7 points in the game.
These defenders are putting up very little resistance to the three-point shot.
And it's killing them. That's 4 of the last 5 baskets they've allowed have been three-pointers.
Augustine dishes to Urebko. And here's Augustine, and he nails the jumper. He's got 6.
You know, he's not somebody they lean on for points, but when he does score, that's a bonus.
A good close contest so far as we finish the first quarter. Thunder lead by 3. Stay with us as we get set to bring you the second quarter right after this.
Hey, Mr. Venner. Yo, hola.
This Saturday, November 15th, Goran Dragic and the Phoenix Suns hit the road for a duel with the Los Angeles Clippers. Don't miss out.
Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And when you consider how the Thunder are doing, Steve, Clark, what do you think?
It was a pretty solid first quarter for this club. They limited their mistakes and really took advantage offensively.
You know what? I like what I've seen from them on the other end, forcing a few giveaways. That's excellent pressure and good activity with the hands.
Ibaka and Collison, the duo inside. Russell Westbrook out there with Reggie Jackson. And it's Morrow in its small forward. That's the group for Oklahoma City getting going here in the second. Here's Caldwell Pope. Last game out he had 14. 6 to shoot. Here's Butler, and Detroit again with the bucket.
Sure looks like Butler is feeling it out there now.
The Thunder with the lead.
Coach Scott Brooks of the Thunder, he's brought great stability to this organization. A lot of talent on this roster, but doesn't always fit in terms of their offensive flow. So the Thunder like to keep it pretty simple with their X's and O's.
The Pistons shooting has been outstanding in this game at 58%. Feeds to Caldwell Pope. Smith the pass to Caldwell Pope. From 18 feet away, and it comes off the front of the rim.
Great defense there. You really have to challenge him at that range.
From deep, Morrow. The rebound by Caldwell Pope.
Boy, in the film session, they'll say that was a well-challenged shot.
Just about a minute and a half has gone by here in the second. And Augustine kicks to Caldwell Pope. The feed now to Augustine. And it's wide right. Hits off the rim.
Yeah, no excuses there. Got a really good look at the basket after being freed up by the pick.
We say it all the time. The execution was excellent. The result not as good, but good ball movement anyway.
Butler goes in. Caldwell Pope dishes to Monroe. Caldwell Pope passes to Monroe. To the paint. Time called here. The Thunder decide to talk it over. Contavious Caldwell Pope, KCP, drafted 8th overall last season by the Pistons. Steve drafting for need there.
Yeah, Caldwell Pope coming out of Georgia. He's got that three-point range. Really promising defender, too, at that two-guard spot.
Perkins is checked in for Oklahoma City. And then for Detroit, Drummond's checked in for Smith. And it's Jennings in for Augustine. Here's Westbrook. He picked up 21 points in their last win against the Celtics in Boston.
It wasn't just offense either, Kevin, and he was so disruptive defensively. I don't remember how many steals he had, but, man, he was dominant out there.
Here's Ibaka. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
And KCP struggling somewhat with his shot in his first season. Mostly stayed on the perimeter. He didn't get inside that often to try to get himself going. Sometimes you can get your perimeter game going by going inside. So we'll have to see how his offensive game progresses as his second season goes on.
And for Caldwell Pope, a volume scorer at Georgia. He'd certainly shown the confidence to hit tough shots in the big moments in games. Sometimes rookies look to defer, but on a team in need of shot making, there seems a window for him to claim a larger role.
And both free throws good for Serge Ibaka.
Boy, you look at how Ibaka has gone from role player to key player since his time in the league, and he's done it by increasing his range and efficiency from outside, and he's done it every season. You really have to admire his work ethic. Everybody raves about the character of this young man.
A chance here to get a quick injury report. And now let's check in with Doris Burke to see how Perry Jones is doing. Doris?
Guys, I got an update from head athletic trainer of the Thunder. Unfortunately, guys, he said it doesn't look good. He's not coming back into this game and could be staring at a very lengthy recovery process, guys.
Doris, thanks for the update, guys. It doesn't sound good.
No, it doesn't, and unfortunately, you can't afford to dwell on it. I mean, you've got to come up with another plan and move forward.
And that's not easy to do, guys, because it's very emotional for everybody on the team to see him go down. But you're right, Clark. I mean, they've got to figure it out and move on.
Okay, well, let's check in with Doris Burke reporting from our sideline in this game. Doris, take it away.
Well, thank you, Kevin. As you know, Russell Westbrook, one of the most competitive guys you'll meet. He looks as though he is angry on the court, and quite often he is. As Kevin Durant has said, anger could be good and bad, but it's on the good side for Russ. He doesn't like anybody he is playing against. He does a great job every single game of playing with fire and with force. Guys?
He's something else, Doris. Thanks.
Ibaka definitely knows how to improve his game, and if you look at his shot charts year by year, there are distinct changes in where he's getting his shots from. Who knows what kind of range he'll have in 2 years.
And the basket by Jackson.
Yeah, he put himself in great position to finish that break off, guys.
Yep, right to the rack.
Westbrook against Jennings. Outside Butler. He dishes it to Monroe. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. And a final word on Ibaka. It comes in clumps to him, it seems. 1 year he started to make more baseline shots, Clark. Next year he started at the top of the key more. He's also looking at the three-point shot more often.
Well, that's exactly how you go about expanding your range if you're a player like Ibaka, Kevin. I mean, get really good at one shot and then progressively extend your range and move around on the court.
He's off on the second.
Well, the Pistons' acquisition of Josh Smith last season put Greg Monroe in a tight spot. Both players, natural power forwards, neither one of them floor spacers, so it really was not a good fit, and that showed in the Pistons' record.
Westbrook kicks to Morrow. The pass to Ibaka. Deflects the pass. Jennings with the ball. Westbrook picks him up. Jennings dishes to Monroe. Jennings against Westbrook. Here's Monroe. Nice pass. Led him to the rack perfectly for the layup. Monroe's got his second basket of the night. And despite playing in one of the league's most dysfunctional offenses, Greg Monroe remained effective as a scorer, I thought, last season.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kevin. A slight downtick in his numbers, but not surprising given the circumstances you just highlighted. This guy's got a nice mid-range game and does a good job on the offensive glass, too.
You know, they haven't been able to open up a big lead, but the rebounds are starting to add up for them. They may be able to pull away a little bit.
Yeah, they've been doing the dirty work inside, Steve, playing a very tough brand of basketball.
Oklahoma City leading by 3. Westbrook passes to Ibaka. And that comes off the assist by Russell Westbrook. And that's now 8 points for Serge Ibaka. The Pistons have gone just 33% from the field in what's been a cold second quarter for them. Just 3 of 9. Westbrook with the steal. With some serious agility coming out of the backcourt.
You know, that bucket might count for a little more than 2 points when he finishes with that kind of flourish.
Yeah, against a D that was already reeling a little bit. That was like a body blow.
Here's Butler, following the score by Oklahoma City. It's back to Jennings. Pass to Monroe. Butler with the ball. Westbrook picks him up. Detroit, no good that time either. The Thunder have gone 5 of 8 from the floor here in the second quarter. Over 60% shooting. Jackson, and again it's Oklahoma City.
And at the offensive end, he's done about as much as they could have hoped for today.
Outside Jennings. Dishes to Butler. Into Drummond. And he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a three-point play.
Room service delivery right there, fellas. Wonderful entry feed. Andre Drummond, kind of a late bloomer when it came to basketball, really. Was pretty uncoordinated as a kid. He'd struggled to make layups early on. It wasn't until around the age of 14 that he really started to show some promise.
Catching up on the changes for Oklahoma City. Adams, he's checked in for Ibaka. And it's Telfair in for Anthony Morrow. Now here's Jackson. He had 13 points in the win against Boston.
Well, it looks like he's cooled down a bit after hitting those 2 in the first quarter.
And for Drummond, a different upbringing than a lot of blue chippers. His mother's focus was squarely on academics and his character, not on a future in the NBA. In fact, one time he was supposed to attend a basketball camp hosted by LeBron James, but his mother held him out because he'd forgotten to do his laundry.
And the Thunder with the possession here. After the basket by Detroit. The dish to Adams. Shoots from the right block. It's Drummond with the rebound. Drummond's got 6 rebounds here tonight. When you look at Drummond, Clark, do you think his upbringing kept him grounded?
I do, Kevin. I mean, we're all products of how we've been raised. In some ways, I think it threw off talent evaluators because he lacked that obvious, overt ego and confidence, but that belied a hunger to be good, and we're seeing that work pay off.
Now here is Singler, and Jackson with the block. Right side, Westbrook. The layup off target. Pistons trail by 5, and the foul called on Russell Westbrook. That's foul number 2 for him.
That's his second personal foul. If he gets another, it probably puts him on the bench for the rest of the first half.
Nick Collison's checked in for the Thunder. Passes it to Meeks. He kicks to Urebko. He feeds it to Meeks. Urebko dishes to Meeks. Singler passes to Meeks. Back to Singler. Outside Jennings. Pistons passing it around. And Meeks kicks to Jennings. Goes up again. And even after 2 offensive rebounds, they just can't get the lid off. Telfair kicks to Jackson. From downtown, that's good. Jackson's got 7 now in this quarter.
D there, guys, was pretty much non-existent. I mean, you can't leave a good shooter like that open.
Kicks it to Singler. Well-timed pass, and he goes straight to the bucket for the layup.
Boy, they are just destroying them in the paint.
You could say that again, Steve. The defenders just aren't aggressive enough down low.
Pass to Collison. Just his first attempt. Uses the glass to drop it in. And the Thunder lead by 8.
Well, some mixed results from the Pistons so far with their new acquisitions of Josh Smith and Brandon Jennings. Certainly a talent upgrade, but they didn't seem to move the needle all that much in year 1.
Now a timeout called by Detroit. And for Josh Smith, a 4-year, $58 million contract, a lot invested in this new-look roster.
Yeah, and they've got talented players, Kevin. A lot of them are young and still developing, have some room to grow. It's about defining, accepting, and embracing roles, and we'll see if the Pistons can make all of that happen.
For the Pistons, Josh Smith, he's checked in for Drummond. And DJ Augustine subbed in for Brandon Jennings. .143 left in the first half. Augustine with it. 6 points for him. Clock at 6. Feeds it to Meeks. The tray. Here's Urebko. Tries it again. It's holding by Collison. Collison's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
Well, this offseason, the Pistons bringing in Stan Van Gundy in a dual role as head coach and president of basketball operations. Stan said in a lot of places there's not a connection between the front office and coaching. This setup creates a very unified organization. There are no excuses now. It's on us to get it done. We'll see if they can, gentlemen.
Well, thanks, Doris. Van Gundy builds his roster, then coaches it. We've seen that model succeed with the Spurs and the Clippers. So it's Detroit now, following Russell Westbrook's 3. The feed to Meeks.
Jody Meeks, a 6'4" shooting specialist, a starter last season with the Lakers. He had his best year of his career. Very effective in what became a larger role for him offensively with LA.
And the first one at the line is good. And Meeks with his best season last year, but still probably best suited to a reserve role.
Yeah, I think that's the case. He can shoot it. He competes at the defensive end. He's smart, doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's not going to give you rebounding and playmaking, but what he gives you is pretty good. Boy, they're really battling, guys. Not sitting back, being aggressive, attacking when they have the chance. I like that.
Yeah, and that kind of approach is going to serve them well. It's gotten them to the line more than a few times this quarter.
The basket counts and one. He'll go to the line with a chance to make it a three-point play. Oklahoma City shooting their 5th attempt at the line in the game.
And this was an excellent free throw shooting team a year ago, guys. About 81% as a team.
Yeah, guys, they can feel very good about themselves when you bring up those statistics. Impressive numbers.
Now here is Augustine. He's guarded closely. He dishes it to Single. And the pass to Augustine. He kicks to Meeks. They swipe it. So we've reached the end of the first half of play. It's the Thunder up by 12. And a chance now to send you over to Doris Burke standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Well, Russell, you've played with such force throughout the first half. What's fueling the way you approach the game tonight?
Just trying to stay in attack mode, man. Moving the ball. You know, they force you to make the extra pass, and God's doing a good job of that tonight. Just try to come out and give my team some energy.
You certainly did that, Russell. Thanks for the time. Guys?
All right, Doris, thank you. And time now for the halftime break with the third quarter soon to follow here on 2K Sports. Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first 2 quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback.
He's been absolutely in control. No slowing down for Jackson. He's got 13 points, and the three-pointers have been dropping for him. He's got 3 of them.
Well, as long as he's continuing to make them, I think they should make him more of a focal point of this offense.
Checking out the group for Stan Van Gundy to start the second half. Monroe and Drummond there inside. Contavious Caldwell-Pope is out there with Jennings. And it's Butler in at the 3, the small forward. It's Drummond with the rebound.
You know, normally when you dominate on the glass, it really shows up on the scoreboard, but not so much here today.
You're right, Steve. Typically, it is a good barometer that indicates who's winning, but not so.
The Thunder leading by 10. Now here's Westbrook. Jackson dishes to Ibaka. Cannot hit. And it's Detroit the other way. Outside Jennings. The shot by Butler. Nobody around. Off target with his 3.
It just hasn't been a very good day for him, guys. They need him to start burying some of those.
So we got a moment now to check out the story on Reggie Jackson, how he performed last season. He averaged 13 a game, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds. And some pretty good numbers, I think, guys, when you look overall at his contributions.
Yeah, and he's always looking to raise his game, and that's what you see in his consistency. One of the important characteristics that he brings to the table.
Now Westbrook following Caron Butler's three-point attempt. Out to the wing. Morrow, that's a 2-pointer. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson. Morrow's got the lead up to 12 now for Oklahoma City.
You know, everybody knows that the Thunder are a good offensive team, but the reason why is they have such balance offensively. They can put the ball in the basket a number of different ways from a number of different spots.
You know, the Thunder don't leave points on the table, as you mentioned. They can drive, knock down jumpers and threes, and they know how to get to the line as well. Very well-rounded offense.
Clark, one area of the Thunder feel they could probably expand in is little post scoring.
Yeah, back to the basket play. But even if they did add that to their game, I don't know if it makes a significant difference because they're so good in transition. They can get to the free throw line with the way they attack. They've got late game, late clock shot makers in Westbrook and Durant. So I don't know if low post scoring would significantly enhance what they do offensively.
Well, last season for Butler, he knew he was going to be in a rebuilding situation with the Bucks, but when they bought him out at the end of February, he had a chance to join a real contender.
Now here is Ibaka. 8 points for him. And again, it's Oklahoma City.
Might as well just take it into his own hands and make that big lead even bigger.
Pistons trail by 12. In low to Monroe. And he banks in the layup. Monroe's got 4 points in the quarter.
And with Butler, as you said, a chance to join a team with title hopes. Ended up spurning the Heat, a team he came up with, and joined the Thunder instead.
Now here is Ibaka. He's got 10. That one off the back iron and out.
Been a poor shooting performance for him today, but luckily for them, a lot of his teammates have come through.
Offensive rebound. Here's Caldwell Pope. And they're going to count the bucket and send him to the line. It could be a three-point play. And Butler in his 13th season looking for a little more stability after bouncing from the Clippers to the Suns to the Milwaukee Bucks and to the Thunder last season.
Well, as long as he's hitting those threes, he's got something left to contribute. He was thrilled to get to Oklahoma City last year and make that deep playoff run.
Now a timeout called by Oklahoma City.
Brandon Jennings, you remember, decided to play a year in Italy right out of high school rather than to go to college. He was the first guy to do that once the NBA implemented that 1 year out of high school requirement for the draft.
Just under 2.5 minutes into the third quarter now. And for Brandon Jennings, he didn't play a whole lot while in Rome, but he stayed busy practicing and developing.
Yeah, and it didn't seem to diminish his stock that much, Kevin. You know, you go back to when he was drafted, he was the 10th pick by the Bucks back in 08.
Well, he's clearly feeling it, Clark, coming off that fantastic game last time out.
Pistons trail by 9. Pass to Caldwell Pope. Monroe down low, working on Ibaka. And a miss there on the triple. Oklahoma City's gone past the three-point line for 13 of their shots. They're 6 of 13. Pulls up on the wing. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson. Jackson's got 3 assists tonight.
Tell you what, he is so difficult to guard, especially on a shot like that one.
Monroe sets a screen for Jennings. Butler on the wing. Dishes it to Caldwell Pope. Jennings against Westbrook. Jennings wide open. That one rolling around and rims out.
Ouch. Another miss to add to what's been a miserable game for him from the field.
Here's Perkins. Collects the two-pointer near the hoop. And the Thunder lead by 13.
You know, down there in the low post is where you really want to create a lot of your offense.
Jennings against Westbrook. Jennings kicks to Monroe. Morrow with the rebound.
Now, he was right there, but the defensive pressure forced that miss.
Well contested. That really made it a tough shot.
Here's Jackson. 13 points in the game. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession. Now here are the 2K leaderboard with last season's top rebounding teams. In the third spot, the Pistons.
There's not a whole lot to complain about with these numbers. I mean, they made a commitment to rebounding last year, and it was obvious. It showed on a consistent basis. They put great effort into rebounding the ball last season.
Now here's Jennings. Outside Butler. No one near Jennings as he lets it fly. That one wide left. Oklahoma City leading by 13. Outside Westbrook. Ibaka wide open. He fires. Good. Nice assist from Westbrook. Westbrook's got his 5th assist in this one. Jennings kicks to Caldwell Pope. That's good. Caldwell Pope's got 5 points now this quarter.
I like the fact that he led his teammate right to the ideal spot. You don't always throw it to your teammate. You throw it to where he needs to be.
Ibaka goes in, but they get it back. Goes up again, and it's Westbrook laying it in. Westbrook's got 15.
Well, it's plays like that. Hustle plays on the glass and then staying with it, being active. They've really caused some problems for that defense.
Now a timeout called by Detroit.
A lot of high hopes for the Thunder heading into last season's playoffs, and it didn't go quite as they had planned.
And Oklahoma City making a change here. Adams checked in. Pistons trail by 15. The Thunder would come back from the first round scare nicely as they got rid of the Clippers in the second round.
And it looked like they would be in for a good fight against the Spurs in the conference finals, but just kind of faded away as that series wore on. And I think that was more what San Antonio did than what the Thunder did.
They played their best basketball with Spurs, obviously, late in the season.
They raised it. Each series, it seemed as though they got to another level.
Hit it at the right time, didn't they? Jennings kicks to Drummond. Caldwell Pope passes to Monroe. The dish to Jennings. A second chance effort. It's good, and the Thunder lead is cut down to just 12 points on the bucket from Drummond.
It's a great play under the boards for him, and you know that's the standard that he sets. It seems like all those second chance points, I mean, they're there for him game in, game out.
Boy, they were ready for him right there. I mean, totally collapsed the defense on him.
And he gets it to go. 16 points for Butler.
What a smooth finish.
Well, he's certainly the one they want on the end of those breaks. He always finishes strong.
Jackson kicks to Westbrook. Here's Ibaka. Here's Adams. Rebound by the Pistons. Drummond's got the glass covered here tonight. 11 boards for him. It's good, and the Thunder lead is cut down to just 8 points on the bucket from Jennings.
A good job of spotting his teammate near the basket and zipping the pass right in there.
Now here's Westbrook. He's got 15. Takes the three. Another miss by Westbrook.
He's not exactly striping them from deep. He had 1 3-ball in the first half, still bagels in the second.
And the dunk by Jackson.
And unfortunately, we've seen a few too many of those. A lack of concentration and alertness, a turnover, and an easy bucket the other way in transition.
And if we see a few more of them, this game could be in danger of getting out of hand quickly.
Here's Jennings following the score by Oklahoma City. Butler in the corner. Thunder with the rebound. Ibaka's got his 7th rebound of the game with that last one. Westbrook drives in. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
Russell Westbrook, one of the best success stories when it comes to converting a scoring guard to playing the point. But it's his overall talent that's made him successful. His will, his competitiveness, and his incredible athleticism.
And Westbrook is a phenomenal rebounder and scorer at the point guard position. He gets steals. He really is one of the stat sheet stuffer supreme guys in the league.
For the Thunder, Nick Collison's checked in for Ibaka. And it's Telfair in for Reggie Jackson. And both free throws good for Westbrook. And Westbrook every season among the league leaders, Steve, in assists, but also, unfortunately, in turnovers.
Well, with his scoring burden, that's to be expected, but it's definitely an area he can continue to improve.
And taking a quick look here, guys, at the hustle stats for Oklahoma City.
Their high-energy defensive effort has paid off for them, guys, with more than a few steals over the course of the ball game.
And something else they've excelled at is their interior defense. A lot of blocked shots for them tonight.
For Oklahoma City, they had put up good numbers at the charity stripe, converting 6 of 7. That free throw good for Morrow.
Oftentimes when you go on the road, you're going to have to win close games, and the Pistons really struggled in that regard, and as a result, they didn't find themselves winning too many on the road.
Now here is Singler. Augustine dishes to Meeks to the wing on the left. 6 to shoot. And Augustine kicks to Meeks. Offensive struggles continue. Missing again. Guys, for the Pistons, they are a young team overall, and that can be a factor in both road games and close games.
Well, the nerves can get to you, or just a little bit of inexperience as well. So 12-29 road record for the Pistons last year. They know that's something they have to improve upon.
Nice shot by Singler.
They've had assists now on their last 3 baskets.
And it's not just their passing, but their cutting, their movement together as a unit that's led to that.
Now here's Westbrook. He's got 17.
Well, there is a reason they call it Loud City. Oklahoma City, voted by NBA GMs as having the best home court advantage in the NBA. The fans are on top of you and engaged from start to finish.
The first free throw is good.
And the Thunder, moving to OKC 6 seasons ago, they've really become part of the fabric of this community, whether it was assisting in the recovery from the big tornado to helping revitalize downtown. You see how a team can provide a rallying cry for an entire community.
Jackson, he's checked in for Sebastian Telfair. That's also good, so he hits both free throws. And for these Oklahoma City fans, Clark, they've certainly had it good. A team that's made the playoffs in all but their first season here. Superstar talent as well.
Yeah, you go back to that inaugural season, Kevin, in OKC, 23 wins. They've been a powerhouse ever since, and the fans now expect this team to not only contend, but to eventually bring home an NBA title.
Normally when you dominate on the glass, it really shows up on the scoreboard, but not so much here today.
You're right, Steve. Typically, it is a good barometer that indicates who's winning, but not so.
Westbrook drives in, out left to the wing. The 3 from Morrow, and the rejection by Smith, but he recovers it. Jacks up a 3, and Anthony Morrow with the 3. Morrow's got 15 points.
That's his first three-pointer of the half. Remember, he did make one in the first half as well.
About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. Pistons have made a little more than half their free throws today, 7 of 12.
Well, you look at last season's numbers, guys, down below 70% as a team from the line.
And, there was plenty of blame to go around for that. I mean, it wasn't just 1 or 2 guys. I mean, for the most part, the entire team struggled.
He hits the second from the line. 15 seconds left to play in the third. Westbrook kicks to Morrow. Passes to Adams. 4 seconds left. Can't get it to go. Well, through 3/4 of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. Thunder lead by 15. And right after this, we'll bring you the start of the final quarter right here on 2K Sports.
Coming up next Monday night, November 17th, Anthony Davis and the New Orleans Pelicans go up against Damian Lillard and the Portland Trail Blazers. Live from Portland. Don't miss it.
We've got Russell Westbrook. Perkins is out there with Nick Collison. Then there's Reggie Jackson. And it's Morrow in at the small forward position. That's the lineup in the game for Oklahoma City.
Yeah, the defender draped all over him.
Pretty plain and simple. Got him good there. So much has been made about whether this is Durant's team or Westbrook's team, but in reality, I think it's both of their teams. I mean, Durant does what he does. He's an elite scorer, as is Westbrook. They couldn't be the team they are, the Thunder, without both of those guys being excellent and leading the way they do.
And Russell Westbrook drops them both.
He's done a much better job of getting to the line here, aggressively taking it inside and not shying away from contact. I thought he was settling a bit in the first.
Smith the pass to Augustine. Back to Smith. From 13, that is good. Yeah, guys, a lot of people thought that Durant would blossom with more of the offensive focus on him. But, Steve, the Thunder had showed they're not the same team and struggled when Westbrook was out.
Well, and it really shouldn't be a surprise to anyone because, you know, Westbrook's an elite talent in this league, and you remove him from any team, it'll hurt. I think it was people speculating how much Durant could carry this team on his own, but, you know, the fact of the matter is Durant needs Westbrook and vice versa.
That's good from Westbrook.
One of the problems for the Pistons last year was they seemed to collapse late in games. I mean, just found a lot of opportunities that went awry due to poor performances in the fourth quarter.
And the Thunder making a switch here. Ibaka's checked in. Shots good from Butler. Oklahoma City leading by 15. Westbrook kicks to Ibaka. Drilled from 6 feet.
You talk about the Pistons letting games go late. They were one of the worst teams in the fourth quarter in both defense and scoring.
Monroe dishes to Augustine. Kicks it to Smith. Tries again. Rejected by Ibaka. And they get it back. Oklahoma City's gotten the three-point shot off 16 times tonight. 7 times they've hit it, 9 times they've missed. It's taken away by Smith. Butler passes to Meeks. Trying to get open is Butler. Meeks, good. Thinking again about Detroit Clark, it would have been fatigue or just careless basketball that did him in late, but they really did just run out of steam, it seemed like, every game.
Well, it shows that you can play well for 3 quarters, even great at times for 3 quarters, 36, 38, 40 minutes. But you and I always talk about it's a 48-minute game, and you've got to run through the finish line, not to it.
And so he draws the foul on the shot, a trip to the line to shoot 2. Serge Ibaka, the 24th pick by the Thunder back in 2008. From the start, Steve, his incredible work ethic has shown through.
No doubt, Kevin. He's become one of the best two-way players in the NBA. Excellent defender, can guard 4s and 5s. A terrific weak-side shot blocker. And that jump shot, that 17-footer, has given Oklahoma City the spacing that offense needs.
Nick Collison's checked in for Jackson. Detroit also making some changes. Drummond's checked in for Monroe. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope comes in for Meeks. And it's Jennings in for Augustine.
And for Ibaka, his offseason trainer also worked with Kevin Garnett. And he said that's who Ibaka reminds him of with his intensity and attention to detail in drills. And that's something that's overlooked. Being a perfectionist while you're practicing allows you to perform at a high level. He's the type that wants to do it again and again until he gets it right.
Now a timeout called by Detroit.
And you think about Ibaka's development, part of his adjustment to the NBA initially was just learning the language. When he first was drafted, he barely spoke a lick of English, and that's become his 5th language.
We're in the 4th quarter here, just under 2.5 minutes gone. Out of bounds, Oklahoma City takes possession.
I'll tell you what, wandering aimlessly out of bounds like that might earn him a ticket to the bench.
Here's Westbrook. For those just joining us, 4th quarter here, we're just over 2.5 minutes into it.
The turnover difference hasn't been in their favor, but you know what? It hasn't really slowed them down too much. I like the fact they're staying aggressive here.
Jennings kicks to Smith. Smith right side. Here's Caldwell Pope. It's good. The assist that time from Smith.
Well, since we hit half number 2, he's finally come around. The first half was not his best, obviously.
Westbrook drives in, and that one's good. Westbrook's got 14 points now in the 2nd half.
They've built this lead through plays exactly like that. He's easily been their most consistent performer.
Well, he's been splashing everything today.
Now here's Jennings. He feeds it to Caldwell Pope. And there's the call on Anthony Morrow. That's his first foul.
Well, as teams become more and more focused on getting good looks in close at the rim, the value of great defensive big men inside just continues to rise. I mean, it's tough to be a contender without a rim protector.
Now here's Jennings. Here's the 3. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City. Outside Westbrook. In the corner, Collison with it. No good with the triple. And with the new camera systems, it's easier to measure defense, going beyond block shots to look at which, for instance, big men diminish shooting percentages in their area.
Yeah, no surprise. I mean, names like Dwight Howard, Roy Hibbert, and Serge Ibaka. But interesting that reputation has value defensively when players hesitate to go inside.
It's Jennings with the drive. Pass to Caldwell Pope. Knocks down the 3 ball. Caldwell Pope's got a couple of 3-pointers now in the 4th for the Pistons. Now a timeout called by Oklahoma City.
Well, he's got to get everybody on the same page. I mean, that's the reason for this timeout. And if that happens, I think they can improve and start playing better.
It's a coach's job to always try to be 2 or 3 steps ahead of the opponent and to look for that extra edge if you can. And I think he feels like he might have seen one.
All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Over the last break, Kevin, I got a chance to hear what Scott Brooks said to his team. He said to them, the lead we've got now is nice, but I want to make it even nicer. This is when we put the hammer down. It doesn't look like he's ready to back off just yet, guys.
Here's Morrow. It's Westbrook with the drive. A baseline J. And Serge Ibaka, the bucket on the assist by Westbrook. 21 points for Serge Ibaka. Pistons trailed by 16. And the foul called on Russell Westbrook. That's his 3rd foul of the game. Monroe's checked in for Josh Smith. Here's Monroe. Butler on the wing. Ibaka against Monroe. Now Drummond. And terrific work on the offensive glass, and he picks up 2.
They've gotten some good second chances here in the second half, and that kind of extra effort will go a long way into cutting into this deficit.
Now here's Westbrook. Feeds to Collison. He dishes it to Perkins. And stolen by Drummond. And stolen by Perkins. And here is Ibaka. Perkins with it. Lets it go from 11. Blocked. And here we go. Fast break. Jennings has got it.
Been a good night so far for Drummond. He's got 13 rebounds and the 1 steal.
Free throw good, Drummond. So he picks up just 1 from the line that time. Oklahoma City leading by 13. Morrow kicks to Ibaka. Jennings with the rebound.
And they forced the miss with that good defensive rotation. They're playing well together as a unit. Boy, great job of attacking on the break.
Yeah, it sure was. He made a beeline for the bucket as soon as they got the ball. Right away, straight to the rim.
Now here's Westbrook. There's the feed to Morrow. And the pass to Perkins. Here's Caldwell Pope. Outside Jennings, and it's Monroe at the elbow. Here's Caldwell Pope. It's good, and he drew contact on the shot, so he will go to the line. A 3-point play chance here.
Shooting for Detroit, Greg Monroe. Shooting 1.
And that one falls for Greg Monroe. The Thunder leading by 8. It's Westbrook with the drive. Offensive rebound. The kick out to Collison. Westbrook dishes to Ibaka. Shoots over Monroe. Shots good by Ibaka. Ibaka's got 15 points here in the second half.
One of the big stories is second chance points. They've just been terrific here in the second half in that area.
Jennings against Westbrook. Now here's Jennings. T right on him. Clock at 6. They get it again. Pistons passing it around. Butler against Collison. Jennings kicks to Butler. That falls. Great assist by Brandon Jennings. Jennings has got assist number 7 for him tonight. Pass to Collison. He kicks it to Morrow. Perkins with the screen. Terrific design on the pick play, and he lays it in.
The second he got around the pick and shook his man, it was straight to the bucket for the easy deuce. Very, very well done.
Knocks it loose. And pushing it up here. Here is Oklahoma City. Now a timeout called by Detroit. They're losing by 11. There's 1:54 left to play in the final quarter. Steven Adams, he's checked in for the Thunder.
Steven Adams.
Westbrook against Jennings. Butler up top. There's 1:40 left here in the fourth quarter. Just 5 to shoot. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Tremendous output from Butler. He has 23 points, and from downtown, he's buried 3 3-pointers.
Yeah, when he's been able to get squared up and get a good look at the basket, it seems like everything's been going in.
So the first one drops, and that brings them to within 10. And he is unable to get the second one.
Not nearly as productive a trip to the line as he'd have liked. They need all their free throws to go down at this point.
Here's Morrow. Back to Westbrook. Oklahoma City needs to get off a shot. Morrow, no good.
You know, normally when you dominate on the glass, it really shows up on the scoreboard, but not so much here today.
You're right, Steve. Typically, it is a good barometer that indicates who's winning, but not so.
Well, his scoring this quarter has been off the charts, and the complexion of the game as a result may change.
No good from Perkins.
He's going to play his way right onto the bench and out of the game if he continues to shoot it like he has so far in this quarter.
And here's Morrow outside. That drops. And the Thunder lead by 11.
Well, they're going to walk out of here with a win and send this crowd home happy.
A very solid performance in a lot of areas for them.
It's Jennings with the drive. It's good, only a few seconds into the shot clock.
Wow, he was just wide open there. That's way too easy.
Oklahoma City has gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the fourth. Now here's Westbrook to the wing on the left. Morrow, the pass to Ibaka. Left block shot on the way. That's good.
A serious game-clinching run. They've taken off here. Impressive.
No backing off. What a surge at the right time.
To the left side wing. Pulls up from the corner. They grab their own miss. Drummond banked in off the glass. And that's a double-double for him now. 11 points. So it's Oklahoma City picking up the win. They pulled off this win, Clark, with respectable performances on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I think it was just really a nice overall effort, Kevin.
And so now we'll go down to Doris Burke, who's standing by live with our Jordan Player of the Game. Doris?
Russell, congratulations on this win. What were the main factors that helped you stay in control of this one down the stretch?
Just try to be aggressive. We did a good job of, all game of staying aggressive. Our defense was key towards the end, and we did a good job of closing the game out.
Thank you for the time, sir. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Doris. And, folks, that about concludes our broadcast tonight. For Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching as we leave you with our Jordan Player of the Game, Russell Westbrook.
Okay, so we win that one there. We'll see the totals there from the teams. But there you see 27 points for Ibaka, 9 rebounds for him. Russell Westbrook, 25 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, and 5 steals for him. But yeah, like I said, we won the game. But unfortunately, win that game, we had to give up something, and that was Perry Jones there, as he will be out for quite a while here. We'll see here in just a bit. We'll get the latest injury report here in just a bit. But there you see Butler there for the Pistons, 26 points, 4 points. You see Monroe and Dumar both got a double-double there in their effort here in the ball game. But yeah, we won this one 102-93. And, it was a win. Enjoy the win, but it would have been better if we were healthy, which we haven't been too well here. We may have to talk to the trainer here in a bit here about getting guys more healthy and getting them to be able to stay on the court here. So we got Joe Sharp here and talking to the trainer here on about a non-playable injury. And it says that he has suffered a torn MCL. He'll be out for 2 to 4 months. Ouch. And will not be in the lineup. So we're going to have to adjust the lineup here. And this is not what we want to hear or see. So we'll go ahead here, and it says, we've got a tip here. It says give more minutes to Lance Thomas here. So we're going to go ahead and rebuild the lineup here. And we're going to go ahead and just say, you know what, we're going to have the CPU do this. And that'll have the coach decide on who he wants to have to play on the court here. So we'll go to the press conference here, and it says that, you know, we're on a winning streak right now, but fans aren't feeling confident. What do you have to say about that? And he pretty much give the fans what they want to hear, and now that morale goes up. So now we're going to go ahead here, and we're going to sim our next 10 games here. Now, we said this is what we're going to do here when we started this series here to kind of move on this series. And I apologize for not moving this series along a lot faster. I'm trying to, get enough videos up for you guys to watch. I know I've been putting up probably about a game a week, and I'm going to try to get at least 2 or 3 games a week. But we'll take a look here. We got Scott Hamilton. Ryan Hamilton here, who is the head coach or head scouting, and he's wanting to know who we want to go after scouting. And when it comes to scouting, I usually have trouble with this, and I think I made a screw up here again, like I usually do, and didn't do a good job of scouting here. Now, we are really, what I'm looking for this year, or for the draft and whatnot, is just looking for guys that can post up down below, really be able to protect the paint there, block shots, and scoop up rebounds. And I've stressed that a lot. Rebound, especially on, basically on both sides of the court, but really on defense. We don't want to end up giving up second chance shots, or giving up just cherry picking, getting guys down there cherry picking on us and whatnot, getting these easy shots, and we could easily get the rebound and really press the ball back on our side of the court. So that's what I want to look at when it comes to drafting and scouting and stuff like that. So, but there you see, we're looking at some team training here, and they want us to get the training here more intense here. So that's what we're going to do here, and we're just going to work on some certain things here for basically what we want to do for the team when it comes to team-wise. Now, when it comes to individuals, we got other plans, and I think I showed that here in the video as they're talking to Scotty Brooks here, and he wants to let us know about the next opponent. Of course, I'm not saying we're not worried about the next opponent, but we're really, simming these games here. And we're trying to move along here in this series. Can't play every game like we would want to, but we just trying to move along this series here. Like I said, try to play 10 games at a time here. So in the next episode, it will be, I believe, will be at the 21st game of the season. So there you see, we reach level 5 here. So we get another badge here, and we'll see what badge we'll pick here in just a bit. But yeah, we just want to move along this series here and try to get, really try to get some of these players back, as we'll get Durant here in a couple of weeks, actually. I think here we'll get him here about, I think if I remember correctly, about a week or 2. We'll have him back on the court, and of course we're going to have to do a lot of ththings with him. Get that scoring back up, get him back in the rotation, and get him as the main guy to really have that killer instinct that he has as a baller here in the NBA. So again, I'm talking to Scott Brooks once again, and talking about the team chemistry here, and the team chemistry has been good, but it could be better. There you see, so we get trust from him. We boost his trust up. So there you see your assistant coach, GM Michael Williams, has a history of overstepping his boundaries and forcing his way into the GM chair. What does that worry us? Well, honestly, I want him to not necessarily overstep, But, no, not at all. We say, I hire Michael because I believe in him and because I know he is going to do what's best for the organization. I don't want to say best for business. That's that's another company saying that, but we want to do what's best for the organization. So you see Michael Williams again, assistant GM, talking to us and about changing staff and open up. He wants us to go to this. They basically tell you things you can do here to improve when it comes to money. And so far, the fans are liking the prices are here. That's what I want. I want the fans to be happy. I want them to come back. I want them to spend. If they're happy and they enjoy the games, we got a winning product out there. They're gonna want to buy more and more merchandise and buy jerseys and all that type of stuff. I'm not gonna raise the prices up because there's no need to do that at this point right now. We got a winning team here, and the fans are into it. As far as I know, I think we've had a sellout for home games, but not as many as I would like it to be. So we'll have to really work on that here. So we're taking a look here. Got a promotion night here, and we're going to go ahead and you know what? Let's go ahead and do this. Let's do a free T-shirt night. I think that's the one I picked. So we'll go ahead and do a free T-shirt night, and of course everybody loves T-shirts. So we'll do a T-shirt night, and there's some other things you guys can do. You could pick $1 million shot. You can do bobblehead night, all that type of stuff. So it's pretty cool the things you can do in the game. It really reminds me of a lot of the baseball games. I think it was MVP baseball where you could do the same thing, where you had had different nights where you do different promotions and whatnot. So we'll take a look here. 14-6 for the season here as we get ready for the second half, or the next. I shouldn't say the second half. The next set of games here. But during those 10 games, we're 5-5 for the season. And of course, like I said, Perry Jones went out. We'll have Durant back here in 1 or 2 weeks, and we'll get ready to play the Bucks here, who we played in episode 9, and we won that one just by the skin of our teeth. A final score of 87-86. Now, we got Reggie Jackson here who says, he wants to be a starter because, Durant's out. But, of course, Durant's be coming back here soon. So we're in a predicament now of trying to say, right now it's not a good time to get that starting spot yet. But I do have a good feeling that he actually may become important here in this next game against the Bucks. He just got to be able to hit those 3-point shots when we get the ball to him. Be able to hit those perimeter shots. But there you see Nick Collison. He's wanted a contract extension. And honestly, you guys, when I've been looking at the stats and stuff, it makes kind of sense for him to stay on this team, as I got to get rid of either him or I believe it's I can't think of it, Perkins that I have to get rid of. So pretty much, I think it's said that we're going to get rid of Perkins. So it's pretty much a done deal. But there you see, we just take a look at some of the games we've won and lost. Like I said, we're 5-5 in those 10 games, and we'll move on here to play the Bucks here. Hopefully, this will be the last time we'll play the Bucks this season. But hopefully, we can win this one in a very convincing fashion, unlike the last time we faced these guys, which we won just by a bucket, or just by a point. So definitely come on back, you guys, for another episode of NBA 2K15 MyGM with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Definitely come on back for another episode, you guys, as we move on to the 21st game of the season, and we'll be playing the Milwaukee Bucks at home in the next episode. As always, keep yourselves healthy. Please subscribe to the channel. Check out the other great series here on ESGNet. And also, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr. The links are down below in the description. And I'll see you guys next time.